Ever wonder where the idea of germs came from?
Oh, yeah?
I mean, we can't see them.
Right.
So how did anyone even figure out they existed?
Yeah.
Today's deep dive takes us back to the 1800s.
Okay.
To uncover the answer to that very question.
Right.
We'll delve into the surprisingly dramatic world of early microbiology
Yeah.
and two of its biggest rivals, Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch.
And you're right.
Oh, yeah.
It is dramatic.
Really?
Yeah, it's easy to forget that for centuries. The idea of tiny invisible creatures causing illness was unheard of.
Wow.
People believed in spontaneous generation,
Okay.
that living things could just arise from non-living matter.
So if you saw mold on bread, you
Right.
just figured it appeared.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. What kind of evidence did they have to support this idea?
Well, they didn't really have what we would consider evidence today.
Hmm.
It was based more on observation and the limitations of their technology.
Right.
Without microscopes to zoom in, a lot of the natural world seemed pretty mysterious.
Okay, that makes sense. So where does Louis Pasteur fit into all of this? Our sources mention him quite a bit.
Pasteur, believe it or not,
Yeah.
was initially a chemist,
Oh, wow.
not a biologist.
Okay.
His work on fermentation, the process that gives us beer and wine, unexpectedly launched him into the world of these unseen microbes.
From perfecting a Pinot Noir to revolutionizing medicine, that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
Did he go looking for microbes, or was it more of a happy accident?
A bit of both, actually.
Okay.
While studying fermentation,
Yeah.
he realized that it wasn't some mystical process, but the result of these tiny living organisms, yeasts.
Okay.
This led him to question, if microbes are responsible for fermentation, could they also be responsible for things like spoilage or even disease?
Huh. That's a huge question.
Huge, yeah.
And pretty revolutionary thinking for the time.
Yeah.
How did he go about testing that theory?
With a deceptively simple experiment
Okay.
that involved swan-neck flasks.
Okay.
Picture a flask with a long, curved neck.
Hmm.
Open to the air,
Right.
Pasteur filled these flasks with a broth,
Okay.
boiled it to kill existing microbes,
Mm-hmm.
and waited.
A broth boiled, and then what, did life just magically appear?
Nope.
Okay.
The broth stayed clear.
Mm-hmm.
That long, curved neck
Yeah.
acted like a trap,
Okay.
catching any dust or microbes before they could reach the broth.
Oh.
This was a major turning point, proving that living organisms didn't just spontaneously arise from the air.
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge blow to the theory of spontaneous generation.
So this simple experiment basically turned the world of biology upside down. It's amazing how far-reaching the implications were.
It's a testament to the power of scientific investigation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pasteur's work didn't just disprove a long-held belief. It set the stage for a whole new field of study focused on these tiny, unseen creatures, microbiology.
And it wasn't just about theory, right?
Uh-huh.
Pasteur was a problem solver.
Yeah.
What else did he achieve with his understanding of microbes?
He was asked to address a major crisis in France,
Oh,
wine spoilage.
really?
It was a huge economic and social problem, and they needed someone to figure out how to keep their beloved wine from turning sour.
It's amazing how Pasteur managed to transition from investigating fermentation to solving real-world problems.
Yeah.
Did he have any knowledge of how to fix this issue?
Well, he already knew that microbes played a key role in fermentation.
Okay.
His brilliant insight was realizing that different types of microbes cause different results,
Okay.
some leading to delicious wine
Right.
and others to unpleasant spoilage.
So it was like a microscopic battle taking place inside the wine barrel.
Exactly.
And he needed to find a way to win the battle for the good microbes.
Exactly.
Wow.
He realized that gently heating the wine, a process now called pasteurization,
Right.
could kill off the bad microbes without ruining the flavor.
Pasteurization, that's a household name, and we use it all the time for milk and other things. He was a true visionary.
He didn't stop there. His work on wine spoilage led to an even greater discovery: vaccines.
Wow. Okay.
It all started with his research on chicken cholera, a disease devastating poultry at the time.
From wine to chicken cholera.
Right.
How did he make that leap?
It was another instance of serendipity,
Okay.
a happy accident that led to a major breakthrough.
Okay.
He accidentally used a weakened strain of the cholera bacteria in one of his experiments.
Okay.
He observed that chickens injected with this weakened strain not only survive,
Right.
but also became resistant to the actual disease.
That's remarkable. It's
Yeah.
like their immune systems were given a sneak peek at the enemy and knew how to fight it off the next time they encountered it.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Pasteur called this process attenuation, creating a weakened version of the microbe that could trigger immunity without causing the disease.
Attenuation.
Right.
That's a term we hear a lot in the context of vaccines,
Exactly.
especially during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right.
It's wild to think that Pasteur laid the groundwork for that kind of research over a century ago.
And she didn't stop with chicken cholera.
Oh, really?
Pasteur went on to develop vaccines for anthrax,
Okay.
a deadly disease affecting livestock and humans.
Wow.
And his most famous achievement, the rabies vaccine.
Rabies. That was terrifying back then.
It
It was
was.
practically a death sentence.
Yeah.
How did he come up with a vaccine for that?
Pasteur saw the potential of attenuated microbes
All right.
and decided to apply the same principles to rabies.
Wow.
It was risky,
It
but he was confident that his work could save lives.
took courage to even attempt a rabies vaccine. It's incredible to think about the impact of his work. But what about Robert Koch? You mentioned he was also instrumental in the early days of microbiology.
Absolutely. While Pasteur was making groundbreaking discoveries in France, Robert Koch, a German physician, was tackling infectious diseases from a different angle. He was incredibly meticulous and focused on developing rigorous methods for studying these microorganisms.
Our sources describe him as the Sherlock Holmes of microbiology. What made his approach so unique?
Koch was determined to isolate and grow bacteria in pure cultures.
Okay.
This meant finding ways to separate individual types of bacteria from a sample and grow them in the lab without contamination. It was a game changer because it allowed scientists to study the characteristics of specific bacteria under the microscope.
So instead of looking at a whole jumbled mess of microbes, he could pinpoint the culprit behind a particular disease.
Precisely. And this meticulous approach led him to develop his famous postulates, a set of rules for proving that a specific microbe causes a specific disease.
Like a scientific checklist for disease detectives. How did Koch's postulates change the game for fighting infectious diseases?
Well, before Koch, it was difficult to say with certainty which microbe was responsible for which disease. His postulates provided a systematic framework for linking a specific microbe to a specific illness. It was a huge step forward in understanding the cause and effect relationship between microbes and disease.
So both Pasteur and Koch were pioneers, but they had very different styles. One focused on immunity and vaccines, the other on identifying the microbial culprits and understanding their life cycles.
And their work complemented each other beautifully. Pasteur's focus on vaccines wouldn't have been possible without Koch's meticulous methods for identifying and isolating specific bacteria. Together, they laid the foundation for modern microbiology, influencing everything from our understanding of how diseases spread to how we develop treatments.
It's incredible how two individuals, separated by geography and scientific approach, could have such a profound impact on the world. Their rivalry, though sometimes heated, ultimately pushed the boundaries of science.
It's a great reminder that science isn't a solitary pursuit. It thrives on collaboration, debate, and sometimes even a bit of healthy competition. It's through the combined efforts of brilliant minds like Pasteur and Koch that we've made such remarkable progress in understanding and combating infectious diseases.
Their work from the 1800s continues to shape our world today. From pasteurized milk to sterilized surgical instruments, their discoveries are deeply embedded in our daily lives.
And we can't forget the legacy of vaccines. Thanks to their pioneering work, we've been able to eradicate smallpox, nearly eliminate polio, and protect ourselves from a host of other deadly diseases.
It makes you appreciate the importance of scientific research and the dedication of these early pioneers who ventured into the unknown world of microbes. It's a legacy that continues to save countless lives today.
It also reminds us that the battle against infectious diseases is never truly over. New threats will continue to emerge, and we need to be prepared to face them head-on, equipped with the knowledge and tools gained from giants like Pasteur and Co.
It's both humbling and inspiring to think that their work from over a century ago is still so relevant today. As we face new challenges like antibiotic resistance and emerging infectious diseases, the lessons we've learned from Pasteur and Koch are more critical than ever.
They've given us a roadmap for scientific exploration, a framework for understanding the invisible world that surrounds us. It's up to us to follow their lead, to remain curious, and to never stop pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge.
What a journey this deep dive has been. We've explored the fascinating and sometimes dramatic world of early microbiology. We've learned about the groundbreaking discoveries of Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch, their rivalry and their enduring legacy.
And most importantly, I hope we've given you a new appreciation for the unseen world of microbes, both the challenges they present and the incredible opportunities they offer for scientific exploration.
So, the next time you enjoy a glass of pasteurized juice or marvel at the power of vaccines, remember the names Pasteur and Koch, two pioneers who dared to explore the invisible world and, in doing so, changed the course of history.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I encourage you to keep asking questions, keep exploring, and never underestimate the power of scientific curiosity. It's what drives us to uncover the mysteries of our world and to create a healthier, safer future for all.
That's a wrap on today's episode. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch. Until next time, keep exploring the world around you because even the smallest discoveries can have the biggest impact.